I filed a missing persons report. It was a Tuesday morning. The police told me they needed 48 hours to gather enough information before they could start looking. But 48 hours felt like a lifetime. I couldn't just sit and wait while they were out there, cold, hungry, and scared. Anything could happen in that time, so I searched myself. Fuck the police. I went everywhere I could. Crowded malls, highways, and even deep into forests where light was swallowed by trees. I followed every sound, every shadow, every faint trail that might lead to them. I walked along cold rivers and muddy riverbanks until the moon replaced the sun in the sky, calling their names, my voice breaking until all I could do was cry my heart out. Days bled into weeks, and weeks into months. The seasons shifted. Still, I kept looking, through the heat, the cold, and the mud. And through it all, I cried. I cried when I felt hungry, or when my legs trembled from walking too much. I cried when the sun burned my skin, or when the rain soaked me. I cried when I slipped on mud, or when blisters swelled beneath my feet. At one point, I didn't know if I was crying out of physical pain, hopelessness, or grief. I hope it wasn't grief. Until one cold autumn night. I reached the end of the narrow river deep in the woods, and that's when I saw them. Two little figures sitting by the shallow water. A girl and a boy, covered in mud and leaves. Sam? Chris? They turned. It was them. My babies. My little ones. My children. I screamed at the top of my lungs. Mommy. We ran into each other's arms, and I hugged them tighter than ever while tears streamed down my face. Oh, my babies, I whispered, relieved and happier than ever. You're coming home with me. I held their little hands as we carefully walked home. I never bothered going back to the police. I didn't need to. Sam and Chris were home, my kids are safe now. The next morning, I saw police cars going to the same direction of the forest where I found Sam and Chris. Could it be that my missing person report is ongoing and they're still on the case? Perhaps letting the authorities know that I found my children is the right thing to do despite them not being of any help to me at all. I immediately wrapped myself in a decent bathrobe, double-checked on my kids who were sleeping soundly in their rooms, and followed the direction of the police cars. They were back in the same forest, searching the very same river. Perfect timing, I guess. Officer, good morning. I greeted as I approached them, but they seemed preoccupied. I stood by the bank, curious. I watched as they pulled something out of the river. 3 bodies. 2 were children. And 1 woman. Her skin was pale, her hair was tangled in weeds, and her mouth frozen in an endless scream. It was my face. And I was still crying.